I'll be out here for a long time after June anyway. I'm moving over for a year.
Pardon me?
I'll move to Tokyo and Kyoto for a year anyway.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, bring my family over.
Is that right? From when?
Well, either from June or it's not from June, and just after the end of this year I'll move out in January.
Oh, really? Well, what about the band right now?
The band will still be going, but I'll just be based in Tokyo.
Is that right?
And the rest of the guys can do what they want.
Why Japan though?
Well, it's the language I want to learn.
Oh, really?
So I want to spend a year learning the culture and the language.
Why do you want to learn the language then?
I think it's important. I think it's very important because if you, especially for bunch of players, you know, like if they're doing interviews, Japanese people, it's so much nicer. It saves a lot of time, and it's also a sign of respect from your record company. People sort of extra nice to me, so I sort of to save them any more hassle to keep finding young ladies like this one, interpreters and that. I can do it on my own.
Would that be your first, second language?
Apart from smatterings of German and Sicilian, you know, that would be the major one though, like apart from English here. How long have you been over here?
This is my fifth year. Yeah, well, you know, in my case, it's my only way of maintaining gainful employment because I was a major back in school in Japanese, so I have to be here or else it's unemployment lines and they're waiting on tables back in America. Hey, can I get the spelling of your last name there?
Yeah, D-I. There's an apostrophe over the top. A-double-N-O.
A-double-N-O. Alrighty.
It just means the year in Sicilian.
Oh, is it right?
Yeah.
That's right. In Spanish, año means year.
Or as in Anno Domini. It's the same sort of thing. Very close.
Well, and then getting into the official...
You know.
Alright, with your permission.
じゃあアイアンメイデンを抜けてからアルバム発表までのいきさつを教えていただきたい。
They've probably been asked this about a million times, but could you tell us about what happened between after you got out of Iron Maiden and until the new album?
Well, after touring the States out in 91, I was getting increasingly unhappy, like playing heavy metal music. So, and I've always liked more sort of American sounding rock bands than sort of most of the heavy metal stuff. So I,
what kind of American stuff did you like?
Journey, Foreigner, you know, mind you, Foreigner's mostly English anyway, but stuff like that, Kansas, you know, I've always liked bands very similar. And I just thought, well, I'm writing songs which aren't suitable for Iron Maiden anymore. And I was taking them to Steve, and Steve said, I don't think they're quite right. And we suddenly found that we couldn't write songs together anymore like we used to. And I was going one direction, and Steve was getting heavier and heavier, and I was getting a little more melodic. And I said, look guys, I'm going to quit. And they said, oh, well, let's go back to London and talk about it. So we did, and decided, like, if you can't give 100% to a band like Maiden, or any band comes to that, it's going to cause problems for the rest of the guys. So I thought, I'll get out quick and let them carry on. And, you know, that was it. I did that. I went to live in LA for a year, moved back to London, started recruiting members, you know, for the new band, and that's it, right up till we've done the album in November.
You recruited the members back in London, you said?
Yeah, I did try to find some musicians out in LA. I wanted to have it half American, half English, but unfortunately I didn't see anyone out in or hear anyone out in the States who I really wanted. I wasn't happy with any of them. If I was going to take American musicians, it would have been just playing some drums or maybe keyboards, but it had to be the British guitar sound.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah. It's really important, I think so. Obviously you're not going to agree with me being American, but...
it's just... You talk about liking, you know, the American bands.
Yeah, but I like the British guitar sound, though. There's nothing beats that, you know, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I was trying to fuse the two together. It's been very difficult, but we've finally just got round and hit on the right formula now for us. So that's it up till now.
だそうですね。
いや、全然わかんない。これが、ね、アメリカンメイデン辞めた一番の理由ってのは言ってくれた？
一応もうそれ延々と喋ってた。What we're going to do is, what you do normally in interviews is translate each line back and forth, but we basically cut that out. In other words, I probe all the questions, and then we translate this back later.
Gotcha. Yeah. Fine.
Saves me a lot of work as well.
Yeah, that's true enough.
で、じゃあこれが、これも言ってくれたのかな？アイアンメイデンの時の音の抵抗も変わってね、ヘビーメタルの音楽感度って聞こえた？これも言ってくれた？おもろ。そうなんだ。まずいな。基本的にはいわゆるアメリカンハードコープといったカテゴリーの音作りだと思うんですけど、それはアイアンメイデンにいた時からそうした傾向の音を目指していたのか、それとも辞めた後に試行錯誤しているうちにそういう選択肢。
This is just overlaps with what you were just talking about. He just wanted to know whether you were going for that sort of a rock sound when you were in Iron Maiden, which you were.
Yeah, I was trying, but it didn't work that bad. As you know.
He wouldn't let you do the song. What, you take the songs to him and he'd say no?
Well, I'd say, look, I've got this idea, and all Steve kept saying is like, you know, they're really good, but the thing is, it's not our style, because once you have a winning formula with Maiden, it's really heavy, and like with this band now, it's you know, just the way we want it. And you've got to have a certain attitude. I mean, it's not. It wouldn't have been right if I turned and said, well, look, I want this song played, because it wouldn't do the band any good. It'll drop like, you know, like anything. So I just thought it was best to quit. Quit while you're on top. That's the way to do it.
Well, how were you making your living during that time, though, after Maiden?
Just living off of royalties, writing songs, a few sessions, just for fun. Most of the sessions were just to keep myself in touch. But I literally had a whole year off without playing live, no recording them. And I quit EMI. And when I quit Maiden, I quit EMI also. So I thought, if you're going to start again, then you need a new band, new record company. And I just sat around writing a lot of songs and sort of just helping out some smaller bands, you know, here and there. Like occasionally I did a bit of mixing and producing for some small rock bands here and there. That was it. I just kept myself occupied. I kept away from the big time sort of rock and roll scene, but the smaller bands, I quite enjoy it. It's like going back to roots again, you know. And sort of, hey, everyone starts, and it was good fun. I just did that for a whole year.
Now that you've put out an album, do you find that there's still a market there? There's still demand for your stuff?
Yeah, I was quite surprised actually, because not so much in England, because most of the kids in England who like Iron Maiden are only about 14 years old now. All the older style fans, or the old hardcore fans from the first place, they obviously remember you. But I definitely do a hell of a lot better in Europe and Japan than the new guy does with the band. It's a shame really, because he's a real nice guy, but and it makes you feel bad, because you get people come up and talk to us, oh well, I really preferred you to Bruce and that, but I thought Bruce was great. I was the one who said to Steve, like, I think you should have him, he's really good. And you know, there's no hard feelings between any of us. We still meet up every so often. We have a real good time together. It's great. You can't say you can fall out with someone, especially when you went to school with them. You know, like me and Steve was in school together. We've known each other for such a long time, and sort of for 5 years living in each other's pockets almost. You know, you can't lose that just because one member leaves. You know, everyone understands that in the band, and you know, it's great. I just hope they just carry on doing as well as they're doing. I'll be really pleased.
It seems that the schedule of the band is so grueling that I would imagine, couldn't that have been part of your reason for leaving? Because as I recall, the band almost year after year does like 200 and some odd dates.
Just do roughly 9 to 10 months on the road, and then a month recording an album. And if you're lucky, you get 2 weeks off at the other spare month, and then the rest is doing interviews. No, I don't. It did get tiring, I must admit. Sometimes it becomes a chore, not something you enjoy doing. But it's only every now and again, every couple of months that happen, and you think, like, I really don't feel like doing this tonight. But normally it's great because like no matter how bad or how terrible you feel, as soon as you go out there and you see the crowd and you know you've only, I mean sometimes you've only just got to walk on stage and then go, you know, that's it, I'm there. So only occasionally it became mature, but very rarely, you know. I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, then I wouldn't play live. I'd just make records and, you know, make a good video to go with it and just not go out on the road. But I think the whole idea of a rock band is live work.
Steve was the guy behind the Blood and Guts sound. Was he also the guy behind the Blood and Guts image of the band as well? The hatchets and the...
Well, that was the very, very early days in that first. We had a set idea because, like, obviously the name Iron Maiden was a medieval torture device.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's like a mummy tomb with spikes and things. There's 3 Iron Maidens. There's that one. But there's another thing they just put on your head and just clamp it together sometimes. It's like it's gold crushing. I think that's where we got the saying headbanger from. Things like that, you know, we just see them. We went to I think it was Madame Tussauds or something, and then Steve just decided to go down, and we thought, oh, some of this stuff's real gruesome, you know, it's quite awful. And then there's a movie on, it's quite a few years back, about 10, 20 years old it is, called The Man in the Iron Mask, which is all about the Iron Maiden. And we thought, it's a good name. And I thought, yeah, it is, because like everyone was saying like real like loud, fast music is heavy, and then they said, oh, heavy metal, and we thought, oh, metal, iron, steel, you know, right, we'll go for it, and you know, we did, and so it just stuck like that. It's pretty good.
And they've maintained the image, if not beefed it up since then.
I think they've mellowed a little bit more.
So?
Yeah, I think they've put a bit more melody in. It's a bloody shame. I mean, it took 2 years for me to leave, and they started getting some melody in. But then again, they're still pretty heavy, you know. I don't think they'd ever sort of go any further than what they have now. I think they're experimenting a bit more, which is good.
What about your own audience? The people listening to you now, I mean, the kids used to come to Maiden, I guess, were wearing, you know, what do they call them? The leather with the metal things and all that stuff. The kids that would come to see you now would be kind of maybe a little bit different?
Well, there've been, some really like it. Some are not sure. I think I've just met one guy, because I always used to do this anyway. I used to encourage any of the audience or fans to come up and be totally honest and say, I'd rather, instead of like some people you can't tell, oh well man, he was real good and you know damn well you played a bad show. I like the fans. I've always we used to sit on the edge of the stage before the shows and that and talk to the audience over the PA and things like that. And it's just sort of say, be honest, totally honest, and yeah, I love it. Some of the guys come out and say, it's fucking shit tonight, it was real bad. But you accept it because at least it's better than them turning around and saying, oh, it was great when you know it wasn't. And some of the guys, I think 2 people so far come up and say, no, I really don't like it, I think you've made a mistake. Like the other people sort of say, yeah, it's really good, and others sort of can't quite make up their mind yet, they're not quite sure, because I think, especially the British audience, they thought they was expecting another Iron Maiden, and I don't know why, because I wouldn't have left in the first place, would I really? So it defeats the object a bit. But I think they're surprised, very surprised at first, because also with this I'm singing now and not screaming for a living. I've actually got some melody in my voice for a change now, and because before Maiden all I ever did was blues, like rhythm and blues stuff. And I've got quite a powerful voice. I wouldn't say it was a good voice. I don't think I'm a great singer at all, but I think it does the job for the time.
Has the style of songwriting changed since then? Has it developed?
Yeah, it's we are definitely a hard rock band, but we're in quite a commercial vein sometimes. We're mixing like. We use synths in the band, synthesizer and that. We also use piano and things. But the reason it's heavy rock music, but like definitely 1984, not sort of harking back to 1977 and things like that. And I think one of the best hard rock bands who are commercial, in some ways, is Journey, obviously. I mean, they did very well in the States, but nowhere else it seems like England and that. They're quite big in Europe. But we try to cross, because I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with a rock band which writes some bloody good ballads and Journey does classics, you know. And we haven't actually got any ballads at the moment, but our songs are like a cross between hard rock and pop sort of thing. It can appeal to both once it's, you know, put out live. I think people will be quite surprised. They're quite powerful live, but you can hear every instrument, you can hear the melody in it. You know, it's not just sort of three-chord thrash, you know, turn everything up and just go crash bang wallop. So you know, we changed it slightly. We've not actually worked on the stage show too much yet, just feeling our way. But I think when we come over to Japan to tour, which is going to be the first part of the world tour, I think the people who do come to see us, I'll be quite surprised.
たまには訳してよ。
いや、そのさ曲のね、年間っていうところを聞いてみたんだけど、当然変わったと。
本当。
それでスタイルがヘビロックみたいになって、それでまあみんな今の僕を聞いてみたらもうみんなびっくりしてたし、
そうですよね。
っていうような。
じゃあここら辺から、以前うちがインタビューした時に。典型的なブルースロックボーカルがねすごく好きだと、いうふうにおっしゃってたんだけど、現在そうしたそのボーカルスタイルを、効果的に生かそうとするとどうしてもこういう、アメリカンハード的なことになってしまうか。
You said in the interview 3 years ago, I guess you researched this before coming here today, that you have a sort of a classic blues rock vocalist. In fact, you just mentioned a second ago.
Who said that? No,
I said anyway. He was wondering that vocalists like that seem to all go in the same direction as you, as this.
Maybe they do. Yeah, I guess so.
Does that seem to be the case to people? Your contemporaries all seem to end up in that sort of heavy rock.
Yeah, that's true. That's true enough. Yeah. It's difficult once you've started doing something like that. You keep harping back on it, even though there is absolutely no way this band now is like any sort of blues influence whatsoever. But the thing is like it's just nice to be able to sing instead of scream for a change again. Probably the strongest point with me vocally is would probably be a ballad sort of thing. I seem to have the right sort of voice for that, but. It's easily adaptable, but I'm only just learning to sing again, you know, like after screaming for 5 years in Maiden sort of thing. It was very difficult to get melody back into my voice and get it going right, but it's coming on now. It's not by any means great yet, but it will be.
What are the greatest problems you have in singing? After having screamed for 5 years?
Yeah, it was suddenly start playing more melodic music. And I was trying to force it out, you know, still sort of like that, and it didn't suit it, and it took a bit of time to get it right, you know.
Just out of curiosity, when you're playing with a band like Maiden, it's all very loud and very raucous and percussive. Can you get away with a lot of stuff vocally? Can you be sloppy vocally, whereas you can't? You can't get away with it?
Not really, because there's nothing worse than sort of going for a high note, a real high note, and it goes flat on you. It's happened now and again, you know. It's what bummer really does. You could kick yourself, but you know what, you tried. But sometimes it's might be just strained on the voice where you've done sort of 10 shows straight off. Obviously your voice is going to be a bit shaky sometimes. But it's harder now because if you know, with there's more to listen to, but it all adds into one sound. It's got to be spot on, you know. It's still quite powerful, but I quit most of the ice screaming and all that. I leave that to the people who sort of heavy metal bands. Occasionally we could do things like that. I mean, obviously with me it's become a bit of a trademark, and sometimes it's hard not to sort of slip back into it sometimes, especially if you're having a real good time, you know, like you don't think, you just do it, you know. It's difficult sometimes, yeah.
What do you see as the compensation for having been in Iron Maiden? First of all,
fame and fortune, to be quite honest. No, it did me very well. It was a good experience because we used to work bloody hard, really hard. I mean, take an example. Once I gave myself a hernia on stage once because I was sort of really poking it out and I split my stomach lining. And I went into hospital on 2 days before Christmas, this is about 2-3 years ago, and I had the operation. I had 26 stitches in my stomach.
Oh my God.
And I didn't have them removed, and I went out on stage 5 days after I had the thing done. I went out to do a gig. I thought, oh shit, it's not going to hurt. But God, I did it. But that's the compensation is really seeing the audience happy in some way, because obviously I think you should write songs for you, for your own taste, but if people like it, it's an added bonus, and then people who buy your records come to see you. It must keep you visions anyway. But I think I'm a lot wiser now. That sounds a bit corny, it sounds a bit cliche, but I feel a lot better in myself, sort of thing, because I dabbled in everything, like when I was a bit younger in Maiden, you try all the things which come your way, and suddenly as soon as I got married and my son that was born, suddenly your whole life changes overnight. I feel a lot better, more relaxed, I feel grown up, Everyone, or as my wife put it once, she sort of said, you've got to be sort of mentally retarded and a bit childish to be a musician. And in a way, she's right. Because you have to act like a kid on stage, running up and down like a lunatic, where most people of like 25 to 30 odd, it's not, like normally, they don't want to know. But you've got to be like that in some ways, so, it's difficult.
So you're thinking a lot more practical lines now. Does that have something to do with the style you're in? It being a more practical style, one you can work in and make a living at?
No, it's a damn difficult style, this one, because there's a lot of different time changes. We're sort of trying to better ourselves as musicians. I'd rather be more respected as a musician than as some sort of rock star, because that's got no interest in me whatsoever. I know obviously that's one of the prices you pay, like especially when it comes from a place like Japan, there's a lot of people they crowd around you, and Europe do that too. And I'm willing, okay, I'll do autographs and I'll talk to people because I like to talk anyway, but I'd rather they just talk to me as a friend, because it's a job. But I'm in a fortunate position, I get paid for doing something I really enjoy. So I think my outlook now has just become a bit more professional, not to the point where you cut yourself off from anyone, though.
How old is your child or your children?
He was 1 year old. He was 1 year old on Saturday, just when I came to Japan. I missed his birthday. But, it's going on quite well. He's quite musical for his age. He keeps bashing away on the synthesizer at home. He's joining notes up occasionally, so he's getting there, I think. He can keep his dad then when I'm old and look after me for a change. Oh dear.
次の
はい。ちょっと待ってね。終わっちゃったよ、方なんで。すごいね。終わっちゃう。どういう話があったのか、ちょっと。なんかお頼みにならなくていいのかな。
さっき聞いたらいい。
今振り返ってみて、アイアンメイデンのボーカリストとして。
聞いた。
本当？
聞いた。
先生、頼むよ。
今度俺全部聞いてる。
本当。声の質としてこうした音に合ってる印象を受けたんですが、ご本人としてはどう感じるか。声の質として。
ああ、今の音楽やってると。
いう感じあるね。アイアンメイデン。
十分触れたと思いますよ。
本国ではこんな具合にヘビーメタルからハードロックにサウンドをくら替えしたことについてどんな評価をされているんですか。偏屈なヘビーメタファンの中には恨み行為やなんていう人もいるんじゃないかと思うんです。
Have any of your old fans been a little bit upset that you've made this sort of a change in musical styles?
Yeah, a couple. Would have commented and they sort of said, you're really good at heavy stuff, why have you changed? But I had to try, to see if I could do it. It's the songs I always like to write like that, and I have to try it, and I just I wish sometimes that people would give me a bit more room, to sort of expand and try things out, without being so narrow-minded, just saying, right, that's it, you're just categorised in one thing, and I'm not. I mean, I do what I want first. That's the whole idea of it. Yeah, the whole idea of musicians write songs in the first place is for their own satisfaction first. It's just the added bonus if fans or other people like it.
Where have you found the response to be best, I mean, most favourable? If there's that much of a difference by area?
Definitely Europe, Japan, and that. America's not heard nothing yet. But hopefully they will do. Like I think it'll be June, I hope, or July that our album's released out there too. So I think it'll go down well with American audience because it's. I mean, we've got the qualities of bands like Journey and Kansas and stuff. We've got great vocal harmonies, and we're a six-piece band. Once we've got a drummer, we haven't got one at the moment, but like and it's pretty tight, and it's a cross between like that commercial rock, heavy rock sound, but we have some pretty good time changes in it, some quite interesting ones, like where some of the guys were influenced by jazz in some of their music. So we fit around a bit. It's just the whole reason we did it, we just wanted to see like, oh great, like stretch the musicianship a bit more than just playing three chords and the solo here and the solo there and end it. And they're not exactly long songs either, they're quite short and to the point, and we put as much in as possible, but it doesn't sound rushed, funny enough. Yeah. So I think though, overall reaction is quite pleasing and promising. It's looking good, but England, I'm afraid, I don't know how we do. We just have to wait and see. I'm not too worried about England. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but I'm not too worried because they have so much to spare for music in England anyway. There's so many bands. I mean, heavy metal bands. You could go to every pub in London or somewhere and you'll see a metal band playing. Yeah, or any disco thing you go, there'll be a new wave band or something playing. They've got so much music around there. 99% of it is total shit. But like occasionally you get a good band and spring up, come to life. Like Duran Duran, for instance, they did in the new wave romantic era they had playing in Birmingham. And some of the good bands, as I said, they just spring up. There must be something there. I know a lot of people turn around and say, oh, they're useless, they can't play their instruments very well. So be it, but the thing is, there must be something there because people are going to see them, buying their records.
It's funny because with all the new bands you have coming out of Britain and all the variety of musical styles, they seem to get very upset when a band or a solo artist changes his or their style. And
a friend of mine, a guy named Paul Young, he used to sing R&B all the time, R&B and soul stuff, and now he's gone sort of pop singer, done very well in England. His album's sold huge, and he's done quite well here, and he's had 2 #1 singles in England so far. And all the hardcore fans just don't want to know anymore. They won't go to see him. Yeah, but to him it doesn't really matter because like he's got thousands and thousands of screaming young girls now, and that's where the money comes from. It's from the younger kids. Most of the older guys and women and that are about 17 to 20 odd. Most of them are unemployed in England. You can't really afford albums and go to see bands and that. But most of the young girls, they get pocket money off of mummy and daddy sort of thing. They'll spend it on everything, So it's I think the British audiences are very fickle. Like this, once they like one thing, it's very difficult to change their mind. They're too pig-headed, is the word. I would much prefer sort of European, American, and Japanese audiences because at least they give you a chance.
A little more open-minded. Are you ever going to go back to Britain, or are you going to go somewhere else after Japan?
No, I'll probably go back to London. I live out just outside London. I'll probably go back there, obviously. I might go back to LA soon. I'm drifting around. I can't settle at the moment. I'm sort of finding it difficult. I just bought a house in just outside London. It's really tough. I sort of find it difficult. It's a really quiet area. Like for me, all I do is have a couple of rounds of golf a week, and I just end up walking miles and miles down the country lanes. It's good. I'm getting time to think and that, But I do miss city life a bit, but I don't like London. I think London's pretty awful. It's dirty and it's not very nice. But I don't know. I like Tokyo one hell of a lot. always have done. I think it's the people what make the city, obviously.
Yeah.
And Japanese people are very nice, very polite. You're always treated well, and I think they bring out the best in sort of European people or sort of American people, because Japanese people are so polite and so together. I think they are very together. You get the pig-headed sort of English bloke coming, oh, where's my cup of tea and my toast and all that, right? And they won't make an effort to learn anything, especially the English people. They won't make an effort to learn another language. They think they're ones the be-all and end-all of everything, which is in some ways in the world, but I'm very impressed with sort of people like Japanese people, and that's why I want to, all the things done to me, for me, I just want to learn the language to be able to speak properly to them,
A lot of British people say that when they leave England and go to America, they find there's not enough friction, stimulation to induce good songwriting and good performance. If that's true of Britons in America, I'm sure that it would probably even be worse in Japan because there's even less friction here.
Yeah,
there's more.
That's true. But the thing is like then I think you start changing music slightly again, because you sort of you get influences from like the Far East then, because like things like that. What we was going to do is a couple of the guys in the band, we were just going to bum around for a whole year, go as many places around the world as we can, and mainly do a lot of research work in the Far East and the Middle East for songs, tunes, like go to clubs and tape a song or something. And just listen to it, and then next time you write, you'll probably get a slight influence come through. Because I just want to try it, but I have plans for the next album, be sung in English everywhere else but Japan. I'm going to do it in Japanese, I hope. I'll be doing the whole lyrics and all that. Quite good.
Well, it would be intriguing.
I think it will be actually. It's going to be difficult to get the right melody line, because the words are so different, or so sort of, I think it's harsher sounding.
Well, it's not a language that lends itself to our melody.
No, but I think it'll be difficult, but it's a good challenge to try.
Yeah.
先生、少し教えてよ。
いや、話が長いんでね。いや、とにかく日本にね、かみさんとね、子供連れて住みに行くんだってさ。
住みに？どのぐらい
？1年間。
なんで？
なんでって、いや、日本語覚えたいっつって。
じゃあ日本語で今度はインタビューできるんだ。
そう
そりゃ素晴らしいね。昔ね、昔のそのロックバンドっていうとね、メンバーチェンジがね、これほど今のそのヘビメタシーンほどね、激しくはなかったと思う。まあ4年ぐらいのね、は持ったと。ところが今のヘビメタっていうのは半年とかね、1年でどんどんこうメンバーチェンジしてっちゃうでしょ。こうリンゴ周さんを繰り返してね、わかりますリンゴ周さん。
ね、ひどいね。
困ったな。別れたり、また集まったりするリンゴ周さんっていう。で、そのメンバーチェンジもね、でメンバーチェンジもね、その限られたコマをね、の順列組み合わせみたいになってるけどね、なんでこういう状態になってしまったのか、そのヘビメタシーンをね、筆頭としてね、メンバーチェンジを、だから一定の人数でずっとバンドを、活動していけないというのは。
逆なんじゃない？昔の方はメンバーチェンジが激しかったんじゃない？最近はあんまりないんじゃない？
いやーだって今のヘビメタってすごいじゃない。
そうかな。He's under the impression that we're getting a lot more changes in band personnel these days in heavy metal, hard rock, whatnot. Although I was arguing that point with him, I thought it was a little more common 3-4 years ago, before there were economic problems. It seems to me that now you have guys sticking with the same bands, and less friction within bands, because once you've got a good thing going, you stick with it, or else it's unemployment lines and bread and soup.
I think, you're right, it was more a few years back. It's just that it's come to light a bit more often now, because the press keep delving deeper and deeper into whatever bands get out to. I mean,
maybe they have less to deal with now. Because there's less stuff, they're just delving deeper into what they have.
Most bands now, there's this big hit thing about being totally honest with your audiences and fans and let the press know everything. So there's no secrets, and like once things get out, there's probably always been there, the friction between band members and personnel changes, or some people not happy, and But this time I think it just comes to light a bit more because the press, well, it's supposed to be free press everywhere, you know, but I think that these last few years I think the press have actually been living up to their name as a free press, and they've been getting right down into it, which I think journalism's all about. That's the whole idea of it. I know it upsets a lot of people, you know, but why people want to know them things, I do not know, but I know that they do. So somebody has to do the job. It's like the garbage collector. Someone's got to do that job. It's dirty as well, but it has to be done. You know, so I think it's only this last, you know, it's always been there. It's this last few years it's been coming out a bit more.
だから僕の説と同感だってさ、今はね、そういうね、メンバーチェンジっていうのは少ないからこそ、プレス側がね、より深く究明してるんじゃないかっていう、それが表に出てくるわけで、バンド側がね、こうよりなんていうのかな、何も隠さないというポリシーを取ってるから、やけにそういうメンバーチェンジがこう仰々しくね、報じられるようになってきた。だからそういう印象を。
あなたはこの先メンバーチェンジなしでやる自信があるか、バンド。
Are you confident of operating a band without any personnel changes in the next year or so?
Pretty much so, because like someone asked this question yesterday, I think, or the day before. They said, do you ever argue? Funny enough, we never have, none of us yet, because we've all got a set idea, and it's good that it all flows in together. We've all got the same aim. And the main aim is to better ourselves as musicians, not to sort of see how many records we can sell or how we can sort of get a good gimmick together. We haven't got any gimmicks as band at all, funny enough, which is quite good, because it's got to go just on musical merit alone. So we're pretty much singly-minded, all of it. Each one of us is single-minded because we've got the same aim and we're all going for the same thing. We may, you know, later on, who can tell, but so far, so good, sort of thing. You know, it's not too bad yet.
まあ仲良くしてるし、今まで喧嘩したことないし、それでみんな目標意識を持っててね。で、その目標っていうのはセールスじゃなくて、自分を売れることじゃなくて、そのミュージシャンとして腕を振ることっていうのかな。アイアンメイデンの時は、ポールさんはつまりまあなんていうか脇役だったわけでしょ。ね。で今度はバンドのイニシアチブを取るようになって。そのアイアンメイデンの時にいたようなその欲求不満っていうのはね解消したと思うんだけども、逆に他のメンバーのね意見や欲求をコントロールしなきゃならない立場になっちゃったわけだよ今度は。でその辺のプレッシャーっていうのはねどう切り抜けていくつもりなのか。 脇役だって
脇役っていうかさ、だからさ
結成したんだよこの人は。
だからさ、でもほら
まあ一応
まあね、その作曲というかリーダーっていうのは彼じゃなかったわけじゃないですよね。
Just wondering, getting back to the same question here, when you were in Iron Maiden, although you were an original member of the group, it seemed that the bassist was pretty much standing at the helm there and making all the final decisions, and that's probably what accounted for your frustration.
Yeah, a little, I guess, because well, as I said, we both had the same aims, and it was unfortunately me who changed, and Steve put a lot of hard work into it. We used to be thousands and thousands of pounds in debt while we was getting the band together while we were still at school. We used to take loans out and work part-time jobs to pay off, and you know at that age, at sort of 17, it's hard trying to get the money to pay back a loan which has to pay back for sort of £10,000 which we had for equipment, and, you know. And Steve's always been there, it'll come right in the end. And he's an excellent person to have in a band though, because when the sort of chips are down, he's the one to do it. He's really good. Yeah, Steve is mainly the anchor man. Well, there used to be sort of, everyone sort of puts it down, the anchor man in the Iron Maiden was me, Steve, and the guitarist Dave Murray, because we was the original sort of thing. But I think Steve, to me, my music, I'm quite fanatical about it, but Steve, with him, it's a bloody obsession, you know, it's there. He's the sort of guy, sort of sleeps, eats and breathes rock and roll sort of thing, where I do, for a certain extent, but after a time, you need to have some time quietly, I think so anyway.
So, what about in the band now? I guess that would also be a potential problem for this band as well. To start out with the same aims and then drifting apart sometime.
Well, yeah, it could happen, I guess, at any time. But the thing is like, as we've just got the one aim at the moment, and the thing is, out of all the guys in the band, I'm the only one who's sort of really done it properly before. The other guys have all still got all the hunger and that there in the first place.
Yeah.
So I guess like in their eyes, I must seem a bit jaded. But I think I'm more enthusiastic than ever, especially after a long layoff. It's great. It boosts you up, revitalises you a little bit more. It could happen though. I think anything can happen at any time. You just can't be sure. I'd say no now. I'd say no for a good few years at least. But I can't say when the guys might turn around and say, well, I'm getting more and more into playing jazz and that now, so I'm quitting. It depends. It's hard to sit down and sort of suddenly discover what you really want to do. So if it happens, it happens. But I shouldn't think so. We've just had problems with drummers, that's all, for some reason.
That makes sense.
いまだにイギリスっていうのはね、そのヘビーメタシーンっていうのはね、衰退しないでかなりのその勢力を持っているんですよ。でこれからあなたみたいにね、こうほら、なんか方法論っていうかアプローチでね、別のそのサウンド思考を持っているバンドっていうのは増えていくと思います。
The heavy metal boom, as it were, in Britain shows no signs of flagging at all.
Disagree. It has, yeah. There's, as I said, some of the bands now are very, very poor quality. I don't go to see many bands now because I've got a bit disillusioned with it. Every band you see, they just sound like Iron Maiden, Saxon, Judas Priest. It's not. I mean, obviously, originally the first ones of it, the originals, but everyone's trying to just copy, and they're bad copies at that. It's quite depressing. I think it's flagged off a little bit now, definitely.
So, do you see your style now as a possible a center of interest in the near future then?
I hope so, yeah, I do hope so. Because, as I said, I think it's just mostly our approach to stuff is like, obviously you like to look good on stage, but we've got no gimmicks of leather and chains and that. I occasionally wear stuff like that still myself because I like it. Well, that was the whole idea in the first place, I wore what I like. But it's not so important now. The most important thing is the music. Like if you take for instance the band Rush. I mean, they're not much to look at, but when they play live, what do they play? There's stuff like that, and everyone respects Rush's musicians because they're excellent musos. And that's what we're trying to achieve, I think, more than anything else.
最後だよね。これから今以上にメロディー重視の音作りになっていくのでしょう。
Is it possible for your music to become even more melodic, for you to put more, attach more interest to some melodies?
Probably, yeah. There's a very good chance of that. Obviously, if you hit on a certain style, you keep to it, or you don't stray too far away from it. But as I said, with us, with so many instruments anyway, like keyboards, 2 guitars, bass, and I play occasional guitar and keyboards as well. We've got plenty of room to expand, and we've left it open anyway when we wrote the song, because there's not one song on the album that sounds remotely similar. The only thing that does is obviously the backbeat, like the drum and bass sort of thing. That's a certain style which has become part of our trademark, but the rest of the music, the layers on top, there's plenty of room for expansion, so we can either go 2 ways, or 3 ways. We could go really heavy, go very melodic, or go very, very sort of techno rock sort of thing, like with some good runs in. So it's open to us to expand, and that's why it's taken us so long to get it together, because we had that clear thing in our minds, so we can say like, we can do anything, it's like we can pretty much. It's quite good that way. I think we will probably do something rather melodic though, like everyone likes stuff like that, and we always had a hope of putting 2 albums out in 1 year soon. One sort of the ordinary style of us, and then one which is mostly sort of bluesy type ballads.
That'd be possible then, to put 2 albums in.
I thought we would do, yeah. We've got enough money to make both. Yeah, that's the problem. It's just the finance, but it's possible to do it.
どうかね、これは聞こうかなと思ったので、今一番気にかかってるバンドっていうかね、こういう音作りになってね、影響を受けているバンド。
なんかジャーニーとかね、
それは言ってくれた？言ってくれた。じゃあいいね。じゃあこのぐらいで。
Alright. Thank you.
Thank you.
どうもありがとうございました。
I didn't bore the arse of you.
この次は日本語でインタビューしたいから。
Let's interview in Japanese next time.
Yeah,